Mr. Flores, time is up. Thank you very much.
I had 3 more seconds, and I have the whole thing. I was supposed to have 3 minutes.
Sir, thank you. Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
It's the JR Show from Studio 99 at the American General Media Complex. Here is your host, JR.
Top of the day to you. This is the JR Show. I am your host, JR Flores. You're listening to Kern Radio. Check us out online at kernradio.com. You can download the Kern Radio app to your smart device and take us anywhere you travel to. Plus, we're also streaming live on YouTube. Head over there right now and just search up Kern Radio and watch us as we broadcast live from the Kern Radio studios. They're powered by Adaptive Networks for all your IT needs. Give them a call, 661-241-0638. That's 661-241-0638. It is Adaptive Networks, and this is the JR Show. We have a great one lined up for you. I promise we do. I've been trying to speak with Mr. Clayton Campbell for the last couple of days as the department heads have gone before the Measure N Oversight Committee. This happened last Thursday. And the request for Measure N funds. We'll talk to Clayton Campbell about what they have requested and get his thoughts on some of the spending they want to do. We'll talk about things going on here in California, like people in the assembly trying to essentially stop independent journalists from reporting on fraud, or that's what at least some in Sacramento are interpreting this new bill, AB 2624, as. Some have titled it the Stop Nick Shirley Act. We'll discuss that as well later in the show. Speaking of trying to stop people from talking about things, we'll discuss what happened at this morning's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting, or what didn't happen. And I'll explain why I think the vote that was supposed to take place didn't take place this morning. The city has decided that, if you listen to this show, you know that the city decided a few months back that they're going to continue to pour money into downtown around properties owned by or built by Sage Equities, which is owned by a city councilman and his sons. And it just so happens that this new $7 million project that they broke ground on yesterday, and they're so proud to announce, will tell you exactly what they are doing downtown and who really does benefit. And what else? I think that is all. A few other little stories here and there. And then if you also tell you what we got going tomorrow, Attorney General candidate is in town, Mr. Michael Gates. We will speak to him as he comes through town tomorrow, trying to defeat Attorney General Rob Bonta in California. But we will start with more California politics as more accusers have begun to come out against, can we call him former congressman now? I don't know if he's officially stepped down or resigned. I'm not sure if he went back to Washington, D.C. yesterday as Congress reconvened after their Easter break. There were calls that he was going to be expelled, and which he instead got in front of those and decided to resign. For those that don't know what is taking place, I guess Eric Swalwell, congressman out of California, and also was the front runner in most polls for the Democratic Party here as the California governor's race. He has been accused now by multiple women of rape, sexual assault, sexual battery, and in some instances, and we'll hear from audio of one of the accusers in just a minute that had a press conference this morning, of drugging women. We closed the show on Friday with the breaking news out of the San Francisco Chronicle, where they were discussing a story of an accuser who is remaining anonymous. But she spoke out with the Chronicle last Friday. I think it started before that with a TikToker, again, independent journalist, and people that were kind of speaking out to at least his character and things that they had experienced around Congressman Swalwell. And then it kind of blew up from there. More, you know how that goes. If one person says, oh, well, that kind of happened to me too, and then that kind of happened to me too, and now you've got 4, 5, 6 different accusers. The anonymous woman who was speaking to the Chronicle said Swalwell began pursuing her within weeks after she was hired at the age of 21 to work in his district office in the Castro Valley. This is back in 2019. He allegedly messaged her on Snapchat and sent images of his genitals and seeking nude pictures of her in return. One of the new accusers who spoke with CBS also accuses him of the same thing. We'll hear from that audio in just a second. But the anonymous accuser speaking to the Chronicle also told the paper that Swalwell tried to kiss her in a car when she drove home with him from a donor meeting. In another instant, he reportedly exposed himself to her and asked for oral sex. She did so, she said, in a parking lot. And then in September of 2019, she was reportedly invited out for drinks by the representative. She told the paper she had become severely intoxicated. She doesn't remember the rest of the night. She woke up naked in his hotel bed. She also reports that 5 years after that, after she had distanced herself from Swalwell, she attended a charity gala in April of 2024 where he was being honored. She reportedly met him for drinks afterward and, quote, became so inebriated that she only remembers snippets from the night. This includes Swalwell being pushed away by her and telling him, quote, no, while he allegedly forced himself on her. She said she felt semi-responsible for the incident in 2019. She also reported speaking to a friend of the woman and her then boyfriend, who she reportedly told about the 24 assault. She said she didn't go to the authorities because she was afraid they wouldn't believe her. And then you have this morning, which at the time I kind of questioned, well, why would you go back? Why would you, after 5 years of separating yourself, why would you go back? And her explaining that the first incident, she kind of felt at least some responsibility in it because she decided to go out and have drinks. Obviously, she had a sexual encounter with him prior in a parking lot. And when you listen to the other women that spoke out to CBS, we'll hear in a second, it's a pattern where he reaches out to these young women who are trying to get their start in politics. And if it isn't enough to try to take advantage of these vulnerable women, at some point, at least 2 different people are now accusing him of I don't remember anything. Again, I wanted it to be like, okay, maybe he's just taking advantage of these vulnerable women and consensual sex is happening, and that is completely unethical and wrong on every moral standard. He is married, by the way. And so yesterday I kind of discussed that, but now as we're seeing a pattern, as more and more accusers are starting to speak out and showing how he started off with text messages. And then the next thing you know, it kind of turned flirty, and then he's sending me pictures and wanted to take me back to the room. And it just, I think the investigations are going to lead to some sort of criminal filings against this man. I think New York is already investigating him because of the incident with the anonymous accuser in the Chronicle. Another person who came forward and discussed a back and forth with him is Annika Albright. She was speaking with CBS and talking about how when she first met him, it started off just the same way, text messages, and then it kind of turned flirty. Here is Annika Albright talking about Eric Swalwell.
Ultimately, it reached a point where he invited me to a hotel to meet him. It was very clear what the connotation was. At that point, I completely stopped responding. What I keep thinking back to is how lucky I am that I didn't go to that hotel.
Yeah, because like we said, the first accuser, or the anonymous one, speaking to the Chronicle, says it happened twice where she went back to the room and doesn't remember a thing. Doesn't remember a thing. And then there's this morning press conference where another accuser, Lana Drews, describes an incident that took place between her and the congressman, in which she ended up back in his hotel room.
I believe he drugged my drink. I only had one glass of wine. We were supposed to go to a political event, and he said he needed to get paperwork from his hotel room. When I arrived at his hotel room, I was already incapacitated, and I couldn't move my arms or my body. He raped me, and he choked me. And while he was choking me, I lost consciousness. And I thought I died. I did not consent to any sexual activity.
The first anonymous accuser states that on two different incidences, she ends up back in Eric Swalwell's hotel room, in which she doesn't remember things. Now we have another incident with an accuser saying, look, I only had one drink. Next thing you know, we're headed to this political event. He's like, I got to stop at the hotel room. And I can't even feel my arms and legs. The other girl, Annika Albright, who says, yeah, we were chatting, and then it turned flirty, and then all of a sudden he's invited me back to his hotel room. And I'm like, heck no. And she's like, I didn't, after hearing these other women and what happened to them. There's another girl, Ali Samarco, who spoke with CBS, talks about meeting him and in a group setting with a bunch of kids, college kids that are looking to make their way in politics. And he goes, "Oh yeah, we'll keep in contact. You know, I can kind of mentor you." And it starts off as a group chat with these college kids, and then he picks her out individually and starts messaging her on the side. And well, here is Ali Samarco talking to CBS.
It started out as professional and platonic, and then slowly they became more and more explicit, asking me what I was wearing. Then one night he was on a trip and he was laying in his hotel room bed, and then he sent me a photo of his penis.
This is a pattern of, or it appears to be a pattern, if these allegations are true, because this is all just at this point allegations. But with the allegations, it appears Eric Swalwell has a problem taking advantage of vulnerable women looking to make their young vulnerable women looking to make their way in politics or get a start in politics or working in politics. And it's not enough to just take advantage of these vulnerable women when you have two separate women making the accusations of, look, I woke up and don't remember. I think he drugged me. That's a whole nother level of, well, I'm just taking advantage of these young girls getting into politics in my position, which is morally and ethically wrong, to now you're drugging and raping women. That's criminal. And if these allegations are true, this man doesn't not only need to drop out of the congressional race for California, or the gubernatorial race for California, and thank God he did. Thank God he also quit Congress. He doesn't need to be on the streets. We got to get to a break. We'll discuss a little more on the other side. Plus, we'll also talk about the beginning of construction in downtown Bakersfield, 18th and 19th Street. Who really is going to benefit? Clayton Campbell will stop by. He is on the Public Safety and Vital Services Committee, Measure N Oversight Committee. Department heads went before them last Thursday. We'll discuss what he heard and what they are requesting. California is trying to take up AB 2624. Some are calling it the Stop Nick Shirley Act, shutting down independent journalists. I'll explain. Speaking of which, the supervisors didn't take a vote this morning on the agreement with the Kern Family Justice Center. I'll explain why I think that vote didn't happen. Plus your comments, 661-842-5376, 661-842-KERN. It is the JR Show. It's Kern Radio. We'll be right back.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN. The Ralph Bailey Show, weekdays at 3 p.m.
I am excited about the Artemis program and the fact that we're going back to the moon in 27 and going to set up a base in 28 and move on to Mars and begin deep space travel. And I hope the listener is wrong. I hope most folks are at least interested in what's going on, let alone being fascinated by it, but at least have some interest in the future in space.
The Ralph Bailey Show, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN.
The NBA playoffs are right around the corner, and now you can trade every game on Kalshi. You can also trade on who wins each series, the conference finals, and the championship. On Kalshi, you're trading against other people in live market. No house, no odds makers. And as the odds move, you can buy in or out anytime throughout the postseason. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code ACTION to get $10 off when you trade $10. That's code ACTION. KALSHI, Kalshi. Trade on anything.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities, so do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
You see the light come on, it's flashing at you, check your mileage, and yes, it's time for an oil change. Don't wait until your engine begs for help. Head to Kern Oil Change. Fast, friendly, and affordable service that keeps your car running smooth. No appointment needed. Just roll in, roll out, and drive with confidence. Plus, get free fluid top off with every oil change. Kern Oil Change has 2 locations to serve you, 3706 Coffee Road and 5651 Auburn Street. Kern Oil Change is open 7 days a week. Get in, get out, get on with your day. Follow us on Instagram for additional savings.
We all start as tiny seeds, needing care, love, and a little sunlight. Then boom, we sprout, stretch, and grow through the world of childhood and teen years. Before you know it, we're blooming, working, parenting, thriving. And yes, even golden petals can shine bright. Join Kern County Public Health and thrive like a poppy. Visit KernPublicHealth.com to learn more.
Trucordia, a new name but a trusted partner for Kern County businesses. At Trucordia, we provide business solutions that include comprehensive commercial insurance and proactive risk strategies to help protect your company and keep operations running smoothly. We also offer benefit solutions with flexible options for both businesses and individuals, supported by easy online tools and hands-on local service that makes everything simpler. For guidance you can count on, call Don Coons at 661-401-2280. Trucordia, building trust.
It's that man again, Ralph Bailey. You're listening to the JR Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN. Keep it locked. TRBS coming up at 3.
Welcome back. It's the JR Show. That's right. Stay tuned. Coming up next is the Ralph Bailey Show. Starts at 3 p.m. Stay tuned for that. Then Scott Jennings comes on from 6 to 7 now. And Armstrong and Getty, which used to be heard at this time, can now be heard from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. For 3 whole hours, all put together for the Armstrong and Getty Show. And if you haven't found out, the MoneyWise radio show and podcast has returned to Kern Radio. They are now before this show at noon every day. So welcome back to the MoneyWise radio show and podcast, the original home right here on Kern Radio. 661-842-5376. Anything on the board, sir, before we take a break?
Not at the moment.
We are good and clear. The 18th and 19th Street project began yesterday. They had their little ribbon cutting, shovel thing, whatever, groundbreaking, I guess. And of course, the mayor was there. Andre Gonzalez was obviously there. I'm surprised I didn't see Bob Smith, though. Although I did see Bob Smith at the Kern County City Councilman Bicycle Bob Smith. I did see him at the Kern County Supervisors meeting this morning. Saw him sitting in the front row. I said, what is he doing here?
Trying to get more bike lanes?
No, he's trying to get money. He's trying to get the county to set aside some money to be able to help the city of Bakersfield bring on their jail beds, is what he spoke on.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
And I can kind of get behind. Okay.
Well,
kind of.
Yeah. Except it's Bicycle Bob and he's got an agenda.
I'm just surprised he didn't want to change all the green stuff blue.
Well, he's working on that too. We'll talk about what else was on the agenda for the Kern County Board of Supervisors. But up next, Clayton Campbell discusses Measure N funding in the city of Bakersfield. We'll be right back.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Tensions are still running high between the U.S. and Iran at the heart of the conflict. Hostilities over the Strait of Hormuz. Pakistan says it may be time to sit down for another round of peace negotiations. President Trump indicating that he is open to another round of peace talks as well. Lebanon and Israel began their first direct diplomatic discussions in more than 30 years today here in Washington. Hezbollah, the terrorist group that opposes talks, was not represented. In fact, it escalated its attacks on northern Israel even as the negotiations were getting underway today here in the nation's capital. U.S. wholesale prices surged last month as the Iran war drove up the cost of energy. A winning session on Wall Street all the same as oil prices retreated about $4 a barrel. The Dow was up by 317 points. This is SRN News.
Headlines from the KERN Newsroom.
I'm Chris Davis. The sexual misconduct accusations against Congressman Eric Swalwell will soon leave him a former congressman. He announced an impending resignation Monday, saying he believes that the plans to expel him from Congress are wrong and he is resigning ahead of that. Bakersfield PD is looking for a man believed to have attacked an elderly woman unprovoked February 13th on East 3rd Street. He's described as in his 30s, bald with a full beard. He was last seen wearing all black clothing. A tornado was caught on video this weekend touching down near Vina in the North Valley. No damage or injuries were being reported with that tornado, which was not a large one. It was the same storm system that brought rain to this part of the state. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN Newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. KERN.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. KERN.
Look, folks, when it comes to IT support, not all companies are the same. Many make big promises, but very few have the depth of talent, advanced systems, and proven solutions that Grapevine MSP brings to the table. At Grapevine MSP, they don't just fix problems, they prevent them. Their fully managed IT services keep your systems running smoothly and securely 24/7. So when something happens at 2 o'clock in the morning, you're not going to be stuck trying to reach your provider. Grapevine MSP's local team is already on it with advanced network monitoring. They generally catch the issue before you even notice, and they're calling you to say that it's already been handled. Their dedicated cybersecurity team protects you daily from evolving threats, while their industry-leading backup and disaster recovery keep your business online even in a crisis. All this for one simple, transparent monthly rate. Call 661-377-2992 or visit grapevinemsp.com to schedule your free network evaluation today. Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
First Look with Scott Cox, morning 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Wednesday edition of the First Look program, we'll talk a little medicine with a friend, Dr. Vip Dev. We will chat with local guitar masters, impresario Rick Kreiser. John Cox will be here to administer the news quiz. We have news, we have traffic, we have weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 right here at News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
I'm going to retire.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
I have the whole workshop here. Welcome back. It's the JR Show. It's Kern Radio. Check us out online, kernradio.com. We'll discuss more of the Eric Swalwell case later in the show. You guys just heard me talking about the improvements coming to 18th and 19th Street downtown, $7 million being poured into those blocks. And that is coming from, I believe, public safety and vital services money, Measure N money. And here to talk about more about what he heard in last week's Measure N Oversight Committee meeting is a member of the committee, Mr. Clayton Campbell. Good afternoon, sir.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, welcome to the show. I know you guys had your meeting last Thursday, and I believe they at least did a short presentation before the city council on Wednesday, the night before your guys' meeting. But the department heads all came to you guys on Thursday, the Measure N Oversight Committee. For those that don't know what Measure N is, it's the 1% sales tax the city enacted back in, 2019?
It was something like that, yeah.
Right.
It's been a few years.
It's right around there. And as part of that, they said they would put together this oversight committee that would look at most of the ventures they plan on spending money on, and you guys would give a kind of a yes or no. It's not really that you have real true power in voting down. Ultimately, the city council gets to decide whether or not they want to say yes or no to a project, despite what you, the committee, might say. But the department heads all came to you guys on Thursday and asked for a bunch of money, right?
Well, they don't exactly ask us for money.
They're not asking.
It's not ours to give, and we don't have any actual power. So let me give you a little background.
Well, Clayton, you're a taxpayer, so it is your money technically.
Well, yes, it is, but what I'm saying is that
no, I know what you mean.
I don't have
the committees.
I don't have the ability to say no.
Right.
And what we can.
It's a recommendation, so to speak.
That's right. So the citizen oversight feature of Measure N was that they would form this committee, and then, or at least there would be some citizen oversight, and then each member of the city council chooses someone to be on, or appoint someone to that committee. The mayor chooses someone, and then they pick like a tiebreaker, 9th member who serves at large anywhere in the city. So they're the council selects that person. I was appointed by Ken Weir to the committee a couple years ago, and he was really the only vocal opponent of Measure N when it first came about. So let me give you a quick history of this. So nobody wants their taxes to go up, right? And nobody wants to pay more when they buy anything. They don't want to have a higher sales tax than we already have. And so the city, wanting this extra revenue, needed to come up with a way to pitch it to the voters so that it wouldn't be the city's idea, it would be their idea. And so they went out and they hired a polling company. They paid tens of thousands of dollars. It might have been as much as $50,000 to have some polling company design a poll or a survey, and then strategically call the right people so that they could get public approval or public demand for a tax increase. It's really ingenious the way they did it. And so the way they worded the survey had to do with, would you feel safer if the response times were shorter with the police, if we had more police
if we had 100 officers? That's where we got the 100 officers.
Exactly. Yeah. And if we deal with homelessness and deal with drugs and deal with gangs, and that's what they talked about.
Hence the name Public Safety Vital Services.
Right. Well, they say vital services, but I don't think they asked anybody in that survey if they thought it'd be appropriate to raise the sales tax so they could repave pickleball courts, or so they could do some of the other things they've done with this money, would, put speed bumps in, wide, narrow lanes so they can have wider bike lanes in places where people don't even ride bikes. A lot of the stuff that they've been doing with this money. So that's how they pitched it to the public. Then they end up with barely more than half of the survey respondents said, yeah, we would support an extra sales tax. And so then the city council, we're getting this demand from the voters of our city to raise the sales tax so they can do these things with it. So then they put it on the ballot. And then there was a committee that waged this political campaign to support Measure N. And of course, we all heard about 100 new police officers, 100 new police officers. That's all we heard was public safety. And then when you look at the actual language that was on the ballot measure, it's all about public safety, but buried in the middle of the paragraph is one line that says general revenue purposes or something like that.
Yeah.
And that means
we can spend it on whatever they want.
Now, of course, the language on the ballot measure is just supposed to be a fair summary of the actual ordinance. And so the ordinance that was passed was like 9 pages long or something like that. And so it had more detail, certain priorities for use of that money, and it established a process for citizens oversight. And so the council and the mayor and the council as a whole, each member, they pick members for this committee, and then those members are given presentations by city staff, and then we vote on whether we believe, as representatives of the taxpayers, this expenditure proposal is in line with the voters intended.
The 13, I believe it is. Isn't there 13 subcategories that it could potentially fall under? That means it belongs under the Measure N category.
Right. It fits our objectives. And those objectives really cover just about everything.
A range of things.
Right? And almost everything. And so then what's happened is each year when they take a proposal to the oversight committee, there's no actual ongoing oversight, which has recently become a question we've raised.
Yes.
What they do is they present something. They say, we want to hire, 21 new people at the city manager's office. Of course, they didn't do that in one lump sum. They slowly added those. They significantly expanded the size of the city manager's office. The city roster of employees has increased by more than 500 people. And I'd say about 100 of them are police officers. They finally reached their goal of 100 new police officers. Those are sworn peace officers with a badge and a gun who are actually out walking a beat or driving a patrol car or doing actual police work. But then what about these other 400 employees, right? Where did that come from? Every department got bigger, every budget got bigger. And so when they would go to the PSVS committee, the Public Safety Vital Services Committee, they would say, here's what we want to spend this money on. You're here for oversight. What do you think? And then however the committee voted, the city council would then approve the money. They'd spend the money. Well, now we have certain things that are locked in. So if you hired an employee, well, we're not going to just fire them because the PSVS committee said no next time. And so you look at the budget, it's $117 million, and most of that is already committed. And so what they came to us with this last week was,
I think almost 60% is committed to staffing.
Well, that's just the salaries.
Yeah.
But they asked us to look at about $4 million worth of that spending out of $117 million. So they showed us a presentation that covered about $4 million of that.
So where's the rest of the?
Well, it's already committed, and then about $12 million of it they want to just pour into the general fund because they are over budget.
Yeah, because they've hired so much more department staff that they've ran every single department over budget now.
Well, and this is outside of even PSVS spending. We're talking about just the general budget. And so my concern with that is they promised the public citizens oversight, which I think they really just did that to pay lip service to the idea of oversight. But now they're not even asking for that. They're not even pretending anymore. They're just, oh, let's take the $12 million and just trust us. We'll spend it on something we think is appropriate. So I think the whole thing, we've invited the committee. It was unanimous, by the way. We have a diverse set of viewpoints. They're not everybody on there is a conservative Republican like I am. We got a bunch of people appointed by every member of the committee. And last year it was unanimous. We invited the city council to send the entire PSVS budget to us to reconsider or to have ongoing oversight, and never heard about it. And we never heard from them after that. And I suspect that invitation was, a footnote in a larger report that nobody ever saw.
Nobody ever even looked at.
Yeah.
And you guys meet what, twice a year?
It's 2 or 3 consecutive weeks around this time of year.
When budget talks start happening and they know that department heads got to come in and at least put in their presentation to you. So
they show us, they do a good job of these presentations. They show us what they're doing with the money, what they're proposing. And, not all of this is a bad idea. Some of the spending is stuff that we need to do. But the question I have is whether it's the kind of thing that the public expected the use of this money for. And by the way, the projections were about 50 million in revenue a year from this.
Way more.
And now we're more than twice that.
Yeah, we're at 100 million.
But don't worry, we'll find a way to spend it all.
Well, not only to spend it all, to spend the money that we even potentially saved over the last couple of years, because I think it's only $100 million projected this next year, but we're going to spend 117 million.
We're spending everything they're planning to spend everything that they project they will collect this fiscal year, plus the surplus from last year.
Plus the surplus.
Yes, that's how we get to 117 million.
Has anybody ever thought about maybe keeping that 7 million and continuing to save for, I don't know, rainy days or just in case something, you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. I don't know that anybody's thought about that. Probably some of the members of the council, but not everyone.
Because when you get into some of the projects that you're spending on it, and like you said, some of it is fine. They have the capital expenses in there. They want to redo the BPD radio site, and they need a generator and these kinds of things that are going to help with communications, and those things I get, right? Those are one-time costs, so to speak. Where then it's not going to be when you're hiring somebody. Now I got that every year that's hit to the budget. That's long-term, that's pensions, that's healthcare, that's all sorts of costs that go on to not just a one-time expense, right?
Oh yeah, exactly. And so here's the thing that I don't know, I can't speak for every voter, but I can just tell you what I remember about the campaign and what I think was on the public's mind when they approved, it barely passed, this increase in the sales tax. It was all about public safety. 100%. So we get stuff from Recreation and Parks that I look at and I think, okay, yeah, that's public safety related for the Ranger program, the security cameras, locks on the gates, refurbishing the bathrooms so they're more secure because they have better technology. These are things that I think
they're needed,
are within the purview of public safety.
Yeah, and unfortunately they're needed because we're not taking care of the real issue. When we spend money on those things, it's cleanup. It's not, you know what I mean? Proactive, it's reactive. We're reacting to problems. We have to secure our park now. Well, why do we have to secure our park now? Because we're not taking care of the real problem of getting rid of people that shouldn't be in the parks at those times or doing the things that they're doing in the park.
Well, that's true. There are some of the, in past years. Last year, we had a big conversation about homelessness and homeless charities or nonprofits, if you will, that really did not present to us any satisfying metrics for what they're doing with the money that they get from the city, millions of dollars. I mean, I remember asking the city manager if he was aware of a single person who had been taken from a state of homelessness and restored to some kind of independence, where they're living in an apartment, have a job, or maybe if they can't work a job, they're getting public benefits to pay for their housing. They're off the street. He couldn't think, he was unaware of a single example. And so it was just sending millions of dollars to these nonprofits. And then they would report to us, oh, we had 11,000 contacts with homeless people last year. I mean, they never told us what it meant to have contact with a homeless person. Did you give them a bottle of water? Did you take them out to lunch? Did you take them to a doctor's appointment? Like what does that mean to have contact with them? And then there was an asterisk. And then when you looked at the footnote, it was the same 498 people.
Well, I was going to say, how many are
over and over again?
How many are repeat contacts?
And so I thought, well, shouldn't we know what we're getting for our money? And what are we doing here? We're paying these salaries. And if you look at like what the sheriff of Los Angeles County said about the way they were using the money in LA, it is unbelievable. I mean, it's just like what we see in Minneapolis with these schools that didn't have any students that were collecting millions of dollars from the feds. It's the same kind of scam that's going on. These people in LA were making, these executive directors of these so-called nonprofits were making $900,000 salaries plus benefits plus retirement, and then they have their whole staff with also getting paid salaries. And what are they doing with it? In fact, all we saw was an increase in homelessness in LA. And so what we had was a smaller version of the same thing in Bakersfield. And we want to take this giant pile of PSVS money, because it's more than twice as much as we thought we would get, and we want to send it to these same places
with no real oversight, with no
accountability.
No accountability. They're not doing any audits.
Right.
Nobody's doing an audit of, what's our return on investment?
Right. What's the objective? What are we asking you to do with this money? Just do something about homelessness, and then nothing is done. I don't understand why we keep doing that. And now I know when my city council member Zach Bashertash brought this up at the council a few weeks ago, what was the response?
He got heat for it.
Well, Council Member Smith says that's just what governments do. He says, and he's exasperated as if Bashertash is the moron here. What? Wait a minute here. He's the only guy here who's talking any sense. He's asking for some accountability for this. Why are we taking the money and using it the way we're using it with no accountability?
No accountability.
And the answer is, well, that's just what government does.
That's just what we do.
Well, you had to look at LA, where they spend $6 or $7 billion over on homelessness, and they simply multiply the number of homeless.
I think before we start spending or sending any more money, audits need to be done. And to see what work is really, what's working, what's not, and stop spending the money on things that aren't working and put money towards those that are. It's very simple. It's not difficult. There's just some people that don't want to do that.
Well, remember, Ronald Reagan famously said that the closest thing on earth to eternal life is a government program. Once you start it, it never ends. And you got all these people now who get their salary, and they get their medical insurance and their pension, and it's all dependent on these grants. And if they don't get the grants, they're really in trouble. So then we become the bad guys.
Well, that's like Measure N now. If it's supposed to be, we could take it away if we wanted to, but how can we now? We would be in so much hurt if we took away Measure N.
It would be a disaster.
Can you stick around? We got to take a break real quick. We'll talk about some of the other things that are in there, like, I don't know, say we need $2 million just to get to shovel ready for a bridge that goes across Beach Park. Not even to build the bridge, not even to begin to build the bridge, just to get shovel ready for the project, just in case we want to ask more money to build the bridge later on. We got to get there. We got to spend millions. It's traffic calming improvements, more pickleball courts. It's insane. We'll go over more of what the city was trying to spend your Measure N tax dollars on with Measure N Oversight Committee member Clayton Campbell Coming up later in the program, we'll talk about AB 2624, what they're calling the Stop Nick Shirley Act up in Sacramento, and what the supervisors didn't talk about this morning in their meeting. All that coming up. It's the JR Show. It's Current Radio. We'll be right back. The bridge, dude.
What is Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN. The Ralph Bailey Show, weekdays at 3 p.m.
You know, a lot of people think that Swalwell getting out of this race is a good thing. I think it destroys our hopes that two Republicans could be atop of the leaderboard come the general election, because his 12% is going to go somewhere, and it's most likely going to Katie Porter and Tom Steyer. But one of those two Republicans, Hilton and Bianca, will be there in the general election.
The Ralph Bailey Show, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN.
Hey folks, Scott Cox here for King Door Company. I had my garage door installed over 20 years ago, and it still works like the day it was installed. So I know all about King Door's quality products. But let's talk service. At King Door Company, it's an obsession. Whether you're having your garage door installed, serviced, or repaired, you can count on King Door Company to do it right. And it all starts with training. All King Door techs have been through the King Door Academy, an on-site training center where technicians study the very latest in garage door technology, so that when they show up at your house, they have all the experience and product knowledge they need to take care of your garage door. They really are the state of the art. And when you pair that expertise with King Door's legendary customer service, you get a service experience that can't be beat. So whether you need a new garage door or just service on an existing door, regardless of who built or installed it, count on the pros at King Door to do the job right. Just call 397-2744 or check them out online at kingdoor.com. King Door Company, the company with the pride of a lion.
Working hard to prevent veteran
Sometimes I
suicide.
gotta cut you guys out of the
Or
conversation. You know, talk about things that y'all don't need to know just yet. Do we put the disclaimer back up? Sometimes we gotta, yeah. Clayton had to step out. The courts called him,
But if you want to be in business with people,
which happens. Doctors and lawyers, man, those are the people I give grace to. Doctors and lawyers, every single time. Oh, I'm just talking to the people on YouTube. Chris is like, "What are you saying to me?" No, they doctors and lawyers, man, they get phone calls. You never know. So whenever I'm doing an interview with a doctor or a lawyer, and they're like, "Oh, dude, I got to take this." Anything that you're going to answer that phone is way more important than anything I'm going to talk to you about. Trust that.
Hard Rock can deliver. Hard Rock Casino Tejon. It all happens here. Must be 21 or older. Concerned about your gambling? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's that man again, Ralph Bailey. You're listening to the JR Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN. Keep it locked. TRBS coming up at 3.
Welcome back. It's the JR Show. It's Current Radio. We're talking with Clayton Campbell. He is a member of the PSVS Measure N Oversight Committee. We're talking about some of the things the department heads came to them last week with their Thursday meeting and had presentations on different ventures they wanted to spend money on, like the I keep bringing it up, dude, $2 million for a bridge that's going to span, I guess, across the river at Beach Park from the south side to the north side. There's no water in the river still, right? This is the last time I checked. There's still.
That's true, but presumably you'll be able to go south as well on the same bridge. It's probably a two-way bridge.
Well, yeah, I hope so. For two, and the $2 million they're asking for isn't even to get the bridge, like build the bridge. This is $2 million so we can get the plans to be able to apply for grants to say that we're ready to build the bridge if you give us even more money than we've already spent.
Well, I think when you get into the particulars, almost every government expenditure seems ridiculous. But to me, it's more of a process problem than an individual. I mean, you could nitpick or pick off every individual project, but to me, it's the process, and we really need to return to fundamentals. Like, what is the purpose of the city government? Why does the city government exist?
To provide services.
Well, but what services? There are certain services that a government should be in the business of providing, and certain services that are outside the purview of government.
Yes.
And we're not as bad as some municipalities or jurisdictions, but there are things that I think go a little bit beyond it sometimes. And we get these pet projects that are imagined by people elsewhere, and then people here are like, well, they're doing this in whatever city, they're doing this in San Antonio, or they're doing this in Los Angeles or San Francisco. We should do that too, or we should try to do that too. And then you get these theories of government that think the government should be involved in literally everything. I mean, there are people out there who have no concept of money because they don't have a business, and they just think that there's an unlimited supply of rich people money. And all you got to do is tap into that, and you can solve every problem in the world. And they're so ignorant of history. They're so ignorant of what happens when these socialist regimes are in charge. They have this ideal, this progressive ideal that the government you would just get all the experts, the smart people, and let them just run everything. And then we'll all be happy. And they are missing the fact that this has been tried over and over again by very smart, very well-meaning people in varying places around the world, and it has always failed. That's the one thing that's consistent about it. And the one, independent, freedom, free enterprise, people looking out for their own interests, are that a rising tide lifts all boats, and that's what happens when you have a market economy. And so they put all these restrictions on things, and taxes are a restriction on a market economy, and they expect rainbows and unicorns and beer and Skittles, and they end up getting poverty or gigantic government deficits, debt that they pass on to their heirs and to our grandchildren, and it's just a huge disaster. And what we see on the city level is a small representation of that kind of thinking. And so we have people think, well, we need to control what everybody does on the road because we're trying to create a
calmer traffic.
Yeah, one of these mythical blue zones, right? So where part of that is we want to restrict driving. And so we want to narrow the traffic lanes and slow everybody down. We'll put speed bumps in, and then we'll put bike lanes in, and then maybe people will start riding their bikes to work instead. And then when you ask them, well, what was the demand for this? Like I did the other day at the meeting, I was like, I'm curious, what was the public demand for all these bike lanes? I never see anybody on them.
There's none.
And they say, well, first they say, well, we're trying to put these in places where people don't have cars. And then the assistant city manager comes in and says, well, no, actually it's about safety because we are a really dangerous city where we have all these people that are killed. And there was no information given on what numbers they looked at and whether these measures employed in other cities reduce traffic fatalities.
I think there was even a grand jury report that came back and said, yeah, there's no evidence that shows these are even needed.
Well, yeah, and there's just no demand for it. And have we seen examples in other cities that have tried something similar? No, instead, this is like some concept that some do-gooder thought up, and they want to push it on everybody. And so this is kind of this progressive idea. This is how we control. We're going to socially engineer the community to make it safer. And in the name of safety, we'll make all these people suffer and sacrifice their liberty. And I guarantee you that if you told everybody, we're going to take this 1 cent tax increase, as they marketed it, 1% tax increase, and we're going to use it to make traffic jams. We're going to put traffic speed bumps everywhere and widen the bike lane.
Everybody would have said, heck no.
It would have gone down 2 to 1. Yeah.
Heck no.
And so it was deceptive. So it's immoral from its inception. And then it's been, I think we're running down these ridiculous trails that are not warranted, and we're not exercising the common sense that we expect from people that we elect to public office. We elect these people and we hire a city manager. So it's not only do we elect somebody because we individually don't want to make every decision.
Yeah, then we hire somebody else.
We elect a city council, and then not only do we have those people to be wise in the administration of the public funds, they hire a so-called expert, right? now I don't have any doubt in the intellectual capacity or the technical proficiency of the people in the city manager's office. They are trained to be progressive government people, right? Where they administer the city and they know what they're doing. They have the budget in hand.
Kern Radio.
Oh, we got to get to a break. Can you stick around for a second?
Yes.
All right. We'll come back more with Clayton Campbell after the news break. No, you're fine.
This hour from Town
set the
Hall,
break at
I'm Keith
2:40.
Peters in Washington. The announced
Hey, you wanna host
resignation of
next week?
2 members of Congress this week could affect the balance of power in the House of Representatives.
California Democrat Eric Swalwell said he will leave Congress after facing sexual misconduct allegations. And a short time later on Monday evening, Republican Tony Gonzalez of Texas announced his retirement after recently admitting to an affair with a staff member who later died by suicide. Given the razor-thin GOP majority in the House, the timing of the Swalwell and Gonzalez departures and who wins the special elections could shift the balance of power. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Lebanese people are anticipating the outcome of an upcoming Lebanese-Israel meeting in Washington.
Residents say they're not opposed to direct talks
That's what I was telling people.
Israel.
I said, look, man, there's 2 people that I give grace to, lawyers and doctors. Because whenever I'm interviewing them, something could happen that's going to be way more important than anything I am going to be discussing with them. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, dude, if something comes up and you got to go, like, I get it, bro. I hope not. I don't know, man. You might have some guys on death row or something.
I'm Charles Philadelphia. The 2-hour talk today concluded on an upbeat note. The Kennedy Center's new executive director, Matt Floka, is leading tours to show the building's need for major repairs. These tours highlight water damage and issues with the high-vac system and parking garages. It was another good day on Wall Street today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average up by 317 points, the NASDAQ rising by 455. The S&P 500 advancing by 81. More at townhall.com.
Health insurance rates are surging in America, leaving millions without affordable options. If you're sick of having paychecks eaten up by healthcare costs or dealing with mega corporations, then listen to this. Christians don't need to waste money on a broken system. That's why I want to tell you about Christian Healthcare Ministries. It's an alternative to traditional health insurance at half the cost. With CHM, fellow believers contribute monthly to help pay each other's medical bills. There's no enrollment period, so you can join anytime. And you aren't restricted to provider networks, so you choose the doctors and hospitals you want. It's that simple. CHM is not insurance. It's a ministry that puts faith into action. Feel the difference of financial support and biblical care from fellow believers. Join CHM today by visiting chministries.org/wellness. That's chministries.org/wellness.
That they have to take some sort of
From the KERN newsroom, your live and local news update.
Well, that was part of the discussion is
a shooting on Knott Street, one person dead. I'm Chris Davis. The Kern County Sheriff's Office says that happened Monday morning about 10:15. That is just north of Highway 178 and Jefferson Park. Deputies say when they got there, they found 2 men had been shot. Both of them were taken to the hospital. One of them didn't make it. That person's name has not yet been made public. The sheriff's office has not discussed what happened yet, and no arrests have been announced. Congressman Eric Swalwell announced Monday that he plans to resign from Congress because of the same sexual misconduct accusations that had him suspending his campaign for governor over the weekend. Swalwell says his resignation is the direct result of plans to expel him from Congress. A weak tornado touched down in Vina in the North Valley Sunday and was caught on camera by a meteorologist. The twister was not a large one. California doesn't get many of those, but was with the same system that did bring rain to this part of the state Sunday morning. It was a surprise to more than 1,000 people Friday night and early Saturday on Ming Avenue when Bakersfield police had a checkpoint set up to try and catch people who may have been driving under the influence. Out of the 1,008 cars stopped, 4 people were checked out for drunk or high driving, and 2 people ended up under arrest. Police say they also ticketed 13 people for driving without a license. The long line of police vehicles Monday in Tulare County was a procession for Detective Randy Hoppert, who was shot and killed Thursday in Porterville as he backed up other officers who were being fired upon by suspect David Morales. The procession took his body from Tulare to Visalia. Hoppert's family includes 2 sons and a child on the way. His wife is expecting. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Just from the conditions.
Sorry.
I missed that. Thank you very
I
much.
had 3 more seconds and I have the whole thing.
Just,
I was supposed to have 3 minutes.
sir, thank you. Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
It's the JR Show from Studio 99 at the American General Media Complex. Here is your host,
Pickleball courts. Welcome back. Second hour of the program. It's the JR Show. You're listening to Current Radio. Check us out online, currentradio.com. You can download the Current Radio app to your smart device. Take us anywhere you are, plus watch us streaming live on YouTube. Go over there right now, search up Current Radio, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Watch us from the Current Radio studios. They are powered by Adaptive Networks. For your IT needs, give them a call, 661-241-0638. They take care of Current Radio. They should take care of you too. It is Adaptive Networks. We're sitting with Clayton Campbell. He is a member of the Public Services and Public Safety Vital Services Oversight Committee, better known as Measure N here locally. And we're discussing some of the things that the department heads came to them last week, kind of requesting, not requesting or even seeking approval, really, just considering a thumbs up recommendation from you guys so they can go back to the council and said, hey, those guys said it was okay.
Well, I think they write up a report and they send it to the council, and I'm not sure if the council
even looks at it
or maybe they don't all look at it. And then occasionally the mayor will be at one of the meetings or one of the council members will show up for a part of it, but there's rarely a lot of interaction with the council members. So
do council members ever come and I know you just said they hardly ever show up to the meetings, but do they ever seek thought from you guys who hear these presentations at length?
Well, I've spoken to a couple of them about the process of our committee, but I don't get a lot of phone calls about it.
No, that's what I'm saying. But do they ever come to you even about certain projects or anything and just say, hey, Clayton, I know you heard this presentation and I've been kind of looking at this one myself. What do you think about it?
No, they don't do that. I think that the reality is every year when we get a smaller and smaller selection of things to look at, it becomes more and more apparent that this is just pretend oversight. And the fact that nobody even cares what we think, I don't even think the council members look at how we voted on it, it just simply reveals the lie that was there from the beginning. And that is that for some reason, the idea that they would actually listen to citizen input.
It's just insane. And we're talking about $100 million.
Yes. It's a big
annually.
Yeah.
That is just being, and like we discussed, and I have the presentation, or at least part of it in front of me. A lot of that goes to staffing right out of the gate, right off the top.
Well, and this is the thing that I was talking about before the break, is that you would think that, we select people to represent us to be wise in the use of public money. They hire experts who are supposed to help them with all the nitty gritty, all the details. But the tendency, whenever you have a bureaucracy, is for that to grow and to expand,
get bigger.
Yeah, and there's money available. Let's use it. And so I know every department, they were licking their chops thinking about that tax money and how much they could get, and because that's just natural. You want to do more with the responsibilities you're given.
Well, then, yeah, and we all want to do more, right? I'd love for them to keep pouring millions of dollars into parks. I would love nothing more than that. I would love to be able to go to each park in the city and say, man, this park is really beautiful. They've updated it. They've put in new playground equipment. They've changed out all the tennis courts to pickleball courts. This is so great. We've been told pickleball is the most rising sport in all of America for the last decade, it feels like, as we've had these pickleball courts pushed on us. I would love to be able to do all those things, but we have other priorities right now, right? I mean, that's the way I look at it. Like, yeah, I'd love to be able to grow the budget of all of these departments.
Well, maybe we just don't need to grow it as much. And that's the thing. They told us that they could satisfy all the things that they needed to do with $50 million a year, which is what they projected they would get from this tax. And it's turned out to be more than twice that.
Yeah.
And
they're spending that amount alone on staffing. I have it right here. The total preliminary budget is $117.7 million. It includes personnel expenses of $65.8 million, which is 56% of the total.
Yeah, it's very expensive. Of course, somebody has to do the stuff that they're trying to do. And that's another question I have is why is it that we have to spend millions of dollars for planning? Because we're paying some private company to do the planning. And just like whoever the contractor is who sells toilet seats to the military for $150 a piece, it's the same kind of pricing when you're doing the planning and the plans and you're writing up back to the drawing board for this park. And it's been years since we've had this proposal for what we're doing with Martin Luther King Park.
Oh my goodness!
And now we finally have the plans done, and we've only spent $11 million on the plans.
And that's not even a drop in the bucket of what they need.
Yeah,
they admitted that.
So that's the thing that's to me boggles the mind. How much would it cost to hire a handful of people that do the planning, architects or whatever it is, and even if you paid them $500,000 a year and made them among the highest paid employees in the city, it would still cost less. So I don't know. I wonder about some of these things. It's but that's government, and
everything costs more.
It does, and it shouldn't. But we need to be more conservative with the public money. And they like to talk about how they have a very lean budget and a lean government is their principle, but it's blown up in the last 7 years. The number of people on staff has just grown massively.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why they want to purchase the Bank of America building downtown, is because they need more office space. Well, why do we need more office space?
Well, to house our bureaucrats. And this is why the public should never say yes to these tax increases. There's never enough. The government is never satisfied. It's like the proverb in the Bible, the leech has two daughters, give and give. And that's the government. That is the government. They want everything, and they will never be satisfied. So you have to say no when they ask for this stuff. Make them tighten their belts, make them make cuts in other areas, make them actually be lean. Because I will guarantee you they could have shaved money off the budget they had before to deal with some of the shortfalls they had. They didn't need to get an extra 1% of every sale. And of course, they did it right before all the inflation. So prices go up. So their revenues go up.
All the way up.
Yeah. So
and they still don't have money to take care of the very important vital services that we need, like sewer systems, sewer plants.
Oh, that's separate.
That's a whole nother.
Well, and that gets back to my original point about, we delegate these things to people that are supposed to be experts in this field. And there seems to be no foresight. Like these things blindside them. Like, well, wait a minute here. How come we didn't see this coming?
And I always love it when it's the city councilmen that say those things that have been there for years. Dude, some of you guys have been there for 2 decades. You're part of the problem.
Well, and that's part of why we hire city staff to pay attention to this stuff. But when the idea is every time we go and ask for more money from the public, we get it. So we don't really need to plan that far in advance. We can go ahead and hire $65 million worth of new employees and spend more than twice our projected revenue. And then when we have a big problem, we'll just raise everybody's fees.
Yeah. Or we'll just take money from that pot that we're not supposed to and move it over there. I mean, it says right there, oh yeah, we're going to, and $12 million. It says right here, let's see, there's $65.8 million, which is 50% of 56 goes to personnel expenses. Other expenses include $10.4 million in non-discretionary costs, 21.7 in discretionary expenses, and $12 million to transfer to other funds.
By the way, all of the money is discretionary. So when they say non-discretionary, that just means we've already made a commitment. We've hired an employee. So we'd have to fire that person to free up that money, right? And so it would really need to be a good reason to do that, because you don't want to go back on your commitments to people we've hired. But we certainly could freeze hiring. We don't have to replace everybody who retires. And there are ways to actually reduce these so-called non-discretionary funds. By the way, if we had just limited our spending to what we thought we would get from this tax increase, we would have over $300 million in the bank. So how much does the sewer system cost? The sewer upgrade? It's somewhere in the neighborhood of $300 million for this first phase they were talking about. So we'd have that money sitting in the bank if we didn't just decide we needed to spend it all.
Yeah, because if we're talking about, oh, well, we thought we were only going to get $50 million, so we only budgeted for $50 million. But look, here we have $100 million.
Exactly. It's like what I think it's Boyle's law that says gas will expand to fill the available space. So the budget will expand to fill the available money, and it'd take all the available money. It's just that's the way government works. That's just something governments do, as Councilman Smith says.
Wow.
We need to stop doing that.
We do. Have they discussed jail beds with you guys at all?
Not with us. No.
The city jail beds, because there's this big push, and I saw City Councilman Bob Smith in front of the Kern County Supervisors this morning, asking them to put aside funding to help pay for Bakersfield City jail beds. There's a plan to convert the Taft facility and be able to start housing people out there by the end of the year right here. And it's supposed to cost, I think it was $12 million or something like that. And they were going to go to Measure N money.
Well, they haven't consulted us about that yet. But again, these things pop up sometimes and they say, well, that's already been
allocated for
the committee. Yeah. And I don't remember. I've only been on the committee for 3 years. I wasn't on it from the beginning.
Well, I can tell you they've only been talking about jail beds for maybe the last 12 months at best.
Maybe they selectively decide what things need quote unquote oversight, and because they're just pretending to have oversight. I don't know, but there doesn't seem to be real oversight because they don't vest us with any real authority or seem to pay much heed to what we say.
That's insane. That's insane. Do you plan on staying on the oversight committee?
Well, yes.
I know your term's up at the end of this year?
I have to be reappointed, but Councilman Weir, I'm not sure whether he'll run for re-election when his term ends. If there's another person there,
one of the best city councilmen too, man. He's a CPA. He's a numbers guy. He's you know what I mean. He understands budgets. Those are the kind of smart people that we need on the city council. It's just unfortunate with what he's gotten to deal with health wise.
He has been through the ringer, but he is. I agree with you. He is one of the best councilmen we've had, and he's very tight with the money.
Yeah.
He respects the fact that somebody else earned that money. Other people think it grows on trees.
Yeah, and so it's unfortunate. Hopefully he does return and he can be in better health and be able to attend more meetings. Hopefully the oversight committee is at least listened to in some sorts in regards to this next budget phase. I know they're doing public hearings kind of to explain this next round of budgets that are coming up in the next couple of weeks. Do you guys get invited to any of those things?
Well, they're open to the public, but what I would like to do is get on the agenda for the council meeting and go in there and speak to the council without having the 1 minute timer go off that, and they give you the quick hook, like the public comment. I'd rather be on the agenda and bring our concerns to the council because I think nobody wants to waste their time.
Right.
And not everybody on the committee agrees with me on everything. I mean, I wouldn't expect that. We have a diversity of opinions, a diversity of backgrounds and experiences on that committee. So I don't presume to speak for the whole committee or to be smarter than anybody else on the committee. But I think that the committee as a whole
would like to be heard.
Yeah, they would like to be heard. And they'd like to think that they're not just serving on some committee that doesn't really matter.
Just a show for.
And, we're just pretending that we're listening to the public on how we spend the money that we tricked them into approving with that Measure N.
That's insane. Well, good luck, sir. I know you're going to keep on fighting and bringing up the issues that need to be discussed. So I appreciate it. And I appreciate you taking your time out today, man.
Hey, thanks for having me.
I'm sure we'll do it again soon.
All right.
As this budget moves into June, I think is when they start going to approve this. And they'll hold, like I said, those little workshops up until then. And they should invite at least the committee chair for a Measure N to come to the budget hearings during the process of the city council meetings. I think anyways.
It wouldn't hurt.
It wouldn't hurt. Thanks again. Clayton Campbell, he is a member of the Measure N Oversight Committee joining us. We'll check the text lines after this, 661-842-5376, 661-842-KERN. We'll also discuss AB 2624 up in Sacramento. They are trying to make it harder for independent journalists to post their videos online. We'll explain, plus what the supervisors didn't get to this morning at their meeting. All that coming up. It's the JR Show. It's Kern Radio We'll be right back.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN. First Look with Scott Cox, morning 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Wednesday edition of the First Look program, we'll talk a little medicine with a friend, Dr. Vip Dev. We will chat with local guitar masters, impresario Rick Kreiser. John Cox will be here to administer the news quiz. We have news, we have traffic, we have weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 right here at News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
So I snuck into KC Steakhouse last night, and to my surprise, it was the beginning of happy hour. That's right. KC Steakhouse has happy hour for the month of March. You don't want to miss it. Monday through Friday, 2 to 5 p.m., and then again, 8 to 10 p.m. All kinds of specials going on. They got steak bites with bell peppers and onions, shrimp cocktails, calamari, garlic parmesan on sourdough, mozzarella sticks, all for happy hour prices. Plus, you can't forget the house wine, the well drinks, all kinds of rotate daily drink specials, all at KC Steakhouse. I was hanging out with Liz last night. She's my favorite bartender. I love her so much. Get in there to see her. Get in for these happy hours. Not only that, head into the Speakeasy right next door Thursday through Saturday. Live music starts at 6:30. It is the Stockyard Speakeasy right next to KC Steakhouse.
Trucordia, a new name, but a trusted partner for Kern County businesses. At Trucordia, we provide business solutions that include comprehensive commercial insurance and proactive risk strategies to help protect your company and keep operations running smoothly. We also offer benefit solutions with flexible options for both businesses and individuals, supported by easy online tools and hands-on local service that makes everything simpler. For guidance you can count on, call Don Coons at 661-401-2280. Trucordia, building trust.
Attention truck, SUV, minivan, car owners, and RVs. If it's got an engine, then you need Kern Oil Change. Kern Oil Change keeps it running right. No appointments, no long wait, just fast, honest service from guys who get it. They top off your fluids, check your tires, all done while you chill in your ride or in our waiting room. Kern Oil Change is built for people who don't have time to waste. 2 locations to serve you, 3706 Coffee Road and 5651 Auburn Street. Kern Oil Change is open 7 days a week. Get in, get out, get going. Follow us on Instagram for additional savings.
Get ready for the 11th annual Mac and Cheese Fest, happening Saturday, May 9th at the Kern County Fairgrounds from 2 to 6 p.m. This year's event is going to be bigger and better than ever. Enjoy endless servings of mac and cheese, along with refreshing beer, spiked seltzers, cocktails, and live music. Tickets are on sale now. For more information and to grab your tickets, visit BakersfieldMacandCheeseFest.com. Happening Saturday, May 9th at the Kern County Fairgrounds from 2 to 6 p.m.
This event benefits the Bakersfield Ronald McDonald House.
It's that man again, Ralph Bailey. You're listening to the JR Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN. Keep it locked. TRBS coming up at 3.
Welcome back. It's the JR Show. It's Kern Radio. I want to thank Clayton Campbell for stopping by. He is on the PSVS Oversight Committee, talking about some of the spending they want to do with your Measure N money. $117 million. It's a whole lot of money since they were only really planning on getting $50 million. And where's the rest of it going? So thank Clayton for stopping by and discussing that with us. He will be on with Ralph later today as he's filling in for Teresa Goldner. He told me at 3:30. Teresa Goldner is out of the country. She's making her way through China, right? Is that what she said?
That is what we were told,
Making her way through China. So Clayton Campbell will be back at 3:30 on the Ralph Bailey Show to discuss all things in the criminal specter of what's going on in the world. 661-842-5376, 661-842-KERN. You said we got a phone call, sir?
We do.
Who do you got?
Larry's on the line.
Good day, Larry. What's going on today, sir?
Hey, this 39 Larry just calling to see what the over and under will be for Ralph coming to work on Thursday after the stinky Dodgers lose tomorrow night.
I'm not sure, Larry. I'm not sure. I'm not a gambling man. I like to keep my money in my pocket. Even when I go to Vegas, I don't even get to gamble that much. So I'm a Taiwan man. My money. I got to make sure I know where every single penny goes. I don't bet.
I'm saying he won't show up Thursday.
I'm not a betting man, Larry. That's all.
I'm saying he won't show up Thursday.
Anything else, Larry? You can't call every day and just bash my friend, man. Can't let you do that. Can't let you do that, Larry. Come on now. If you're gonna call, at least call it. Give me some substance, man. It's the JR show. I'm gonna talk about
Go Niners.
Get off my radio show, Larry. 661-842. Go Raiders. How about that? 661-842 KERN 661-842-5376. Speaking of the Raiders, the draft's coming up, right?
Next week, yeah.
Next week, next Thursday? Is that a week from Thursday? We have the number one pick.
Yeah, we all know who it's going to be.
Do we?
Yeah.
It's the Raiders, Chris.
I don't think even you guys could mess this up.
I stand by original statement. It's the Raiders, Chris. If anybody can screw this up.
It's going to be a fun year. We're going to have a fun year this year.
That's what I say every year. It's going to be fun, all right. I don't know if we're going to be any good. I don't know if we're going to be competitive or not, but yeah, it's going to be fun. So that's what it's all. That's what I tell my daughter. As long as we're having fun, that's all that matters.
Exactly.
It's all that matters. 661-842-5376. Anything on the text board, sir?
Just one that says Google Sharrows don't work. Written by the man who invented the green bike lane.
Google what?
I think it's Sharrows. Sharrows.
No idea.
No clue. Never heard or seen this word.
Share roads? Google share roads? Google roads.
I'm assuming it's a book that they're claiming that Mr. Bob Smith wrote.
Bob Smith wrote a book?
That's what they're claiming because they're claiming green bike lanes, and there's only one person I know of that has brought those to this community.
Yeah, I have no. What does it say? Read it one more time.
Google Sharrows don't work. That's in quotes. Sharrows. Written by the man who invented the green bike lanes.
Huh.
Unless they're being legit that this is actually the person who came up with the idea of a green bike lane.
Yeah, just chime in. Give me some more context because I have no idea what you're talking about. But yeah, did you see the over the weekend the big bike mob that took to the streets in Bakersfield? I saw it on social media. There was a guy that was trying to drive his car down the street like a car should be going in the lane. And there is a mob, and I mean a mob, hundreds of bikes, kids doing, you've seen them before. We've all seen the group of kids. Maybe sometimes it's 20 kids or whatever. They're all popping wheelies halfway down the street like they're cool. Like, look, I can ride a wheelie all the way down the block and spin my handlebars. I actually saw somebody eat crap one time when they were doing that, and I thought it was kind of funny. But they're all riding in the middle of the lane. Now, I am all about kids getting out, kids being active, kids riding their bikes, kids even meeting up. I think it's cool. We did one the other night last week in downtown. The kids were supposed to have a skate night. It got canceled. They still wanted to skate. We took them out in the neighborhood and went skating. But you know what? We abide by all the rules. We watch out for traffic. We watch out for cars. We teach our kids how to properly use crossings. These kids riding their bikes in a group of 100 to 200 people are all over the roadway, riding in the opposite direction, stopping cars from doing traffic, so much so the BPD had to get involved. Some of them got arrested because they were out acting a fool. And that's the problem. I am all about the kids being active. I will be the first to tell you, make your kid go outside. Make your kid go outside and play. Make your kid go outside and ride a bike. I'll be the first to say that, but I also say, teach your kid some damn respect, some manners. We painted bike lanes all over the city. I don't know. It's been on all the news and all the papers. These kids don't care. They were all over the streets. They do it in the parking lots all the time. I want to support them. I really, really do. but they just got to learn how to respect the rules of the road too, just like everybody else. It's ridiculous, man. Take a break. On the other side, we'll talk about a couple of things up in Sacramento. It's the JR Show. It's Current Radio. We'll be right back.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Lebanon and Israel have held direct diplomatic talks for the first time in decades. Tuesday's more than 2-hour meeting in Washington came after more than a month of conflict between Israel and the Iran-backed militant group Hezbollah. The State Department praised the two sides for what it called productive discussions. Diplomats are working through back channels to arrange a new round of talks between the United States and Iran. As Washington enacted its blockade of Iranian ports, Tehran threatened to retaliate by striking targets across the war-weary region. Though last week's ceasefire appeared to hold, the showdown over the Strait of Hormuz risked reigniting hostilities. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 317 points. The Nasdaq rose 455. More details at srnnews.com.
Headlines from the KERN Newsroom.
I'm Chris Davis. Congressman Eric Swalwell says he plans to leave Congress voluntarily because of plans to expel him from that body over the same sexual misconduct accusations that had him suspending his campaign for governor over the weekend. 2 men were shot and one of them died in an incident Monday morning about 10:15 on Knotts Road in East Bakersfield, says the Kern County Sheriff's Office. No names have been released and no arrests have been announced. A procession of police vehicles brought the body of Tulare County Detective Randy Hoppert from Tulare to Visalia to a funeral home there Monday afternoon. Hoppert was shot and killed in Porterville Thursday, leaving 2 sons and an expecting wife. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN Newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Kern Radio. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Step into the spotlight at the all-new and always thrilling Hard Rock Casino Tejon, just 15 miles south of Bakersfield. Play your favorites across over 2,000 slot machines, plus baccarat, blackjack, roulette, and craps. And with Unity, whatever you do, you get rewarded. Play here and redeem at other Hard Rock properties. Enjoy live entertainment, exceptional dining, and energy only Hard Rock can deliver. Hard Rock Casino Tejon. It all happens here. Must be 21 or older. Concerned about your gambling? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Your business moves fast. Your bank should keep up. At Valley Strong Credit Union, business banking is built for momentum with tools that help you manage cash flow, streamline payments, and fuel growth. Right now, there's never been a better time to switch. Open a new Valley Strong business account and get 3 months of business banking products and services free, up to $750 in value to power your next big move. Because when your business runs stronger, the whole Valley does too. Valley Strong Credit Union. Grow your business, grow your future at valleystrong.com/business.
We've all been there, sleepless nights, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy knowing we're here for you. BayAlarm.com.
The Ralph Bailey Show, weekdays at 3 p.m.
I know it's the best system on the planet, but I will never understand our judicial system. A man takes a rock upside his wife's head, injects her with some kind of anesthesia, and then tries to throw her off a cliff, and the jury doesn't come back with attempted murder. They come back with attempted manslaughter. Say what?
The Ralph Bailey Show, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Welcome back. The JR Show. It's Current Radio. Check us out online, currentradio.com. Download the Current Radio app to your smart device and find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, X. Just look up Current Radio. Also watch us streaming live on YouTube. Head over there, search up Current Radio, and you can watch us broadcast live from the Current Radio studios. They're powered by Adaptive Networks for all your IT needs. Call them 661-241-0638. That's 661-241-0638. I just saw somebody in Adaptive Networks from their crew just in our studio right now.
Yep, help us out with our KGEO monitor.
Yeah, one of our sister stations, the monitor kept on kind of glitching, and they just came in right now and fixed it all up for us. So just like they take care of us, they can take care of you as well. It is Adaptive Networks. What's that?
I also looked up what a shero is.
A shero. What is a shero?
So a shero is essentially just that little painting of the person on a bicycle with the arrow. That's a shero.
I don't know what
shared line marking. Lane marking.
An arrow and a shared line marking arrow. A shero.
Shero. Yes. Never heard it called that in my life. But
gosh. Okay. Go ahead. What?
I was at least we figured out what it is.
At least we figured out what it is. I get confused, especially with these new bike lanes now. When am I allowed to cross over? Like, when am I allowed to make that right turn?
That's a good question.
Because the green paint goes everywhere. And I'm like, can I cross now?
I just look for the checkered line.
Is it safe to cross now? I'm not allowed to cross here, but can I cross now?
Traditionally, checkered line is usually the right way to go. But
one
that gets me, though, have you gone over the hill over there off of Union and tried to come down and turn onto the freeway?
No.
Yeah, they messed that whole turn up. It is not good because you're going up the hill and it's a 3 or 4 laner, I think. But when you get over the hill, that right lane is a must turn right, but it doesn't tell you that until you have to turn. So it's like, yeah, y'all messed that whole thing up. So
kind of how they screwed up the whole 5899 interchange West Side Parkway thing, where it's like, oh yeah, if you get on the freeway on Ming and you want to go west, then you can't. But if you get stuck in this lane, next thing you know, you're in Tehachapi. I'm like, what the world? I wanted to go north.
All I wanted to do was get on the freeway.
How'd I end up south? And now I can't even get off on Ming Avenue. The world, they screwed that up too. And you know what else they're about to screw up? South H Street. They're going to put in those roundabouts and stuff like that, just like that. Why?
We do so well in those.
It's all part of the traffic calming. It's all, yeah, right?
Do so well in roundabouts.
How's that one working over there? Right there. What is that, Chester? You know what I love most about the Garza Circle is when I've done it for years. I did it with my nieces and nephews when they were kids, and now they're like, my oldest niece is 25 or something like that. And I do it with my daughter who's now 9. But every time we go in there, I'm like, who wants to go around again? Yeah. And I just keep going. One more time. Next thing you know, we've gone around Garza Circle like 4 times. They're like, who is that guy right there?
The people on the inside are like, you need to leave.
So I'll be doing that all the way down South H, apparently, as we'll put in more of those roundabouts here coming up. Hey, at least we're not going to name it Cesar Chavez Boulevard, right? At least we can do away with that. But watch out. Watch out. Because if they don't flip that and start wanting to name that Dolores Huerta Boulevard, because, it's begun. It's already begun. They have they've already started changing everything. That was once Cesar Chavez to Dolores Huerta. I think down in LA, they were putting her mural up already in place of Cesar Chavez. They wanted to give, just like they had, and it's crazy. It's so ridiculous. So we're going to name Cesar Chavez Day, right? That was a thing. We had the last day of March was Cesar Chavez Day in honor of Cesar Chavez's birthday. With all the new allegations, though, we can't call things Cesar Chavez anymore. So now they changed it from Cesar Chavez Day to Farm Workers Day or something like that. But y'all realize that it still lands on Cesar Chavez's birthday, right? Like you do realize that you. So now there's calls to honor Dolores in the same light, and I think there's going to be a movement now to where she is the replacement of Cesar Chavez. And a lot of people don't even realize that there's lawsuits pending right now against the Dolores Huerta Foundation by former staff members that go back to September of last year, by the way. That's not a lawsuit that came out after Dolores came out, after allegations surfaced about Cesar Chavez that now primarily place her in position to be the new face of the Farm Workers United, or what is it? United Farm Workers, or the whole protest, the whole movement. The new face of it will now be Dolores Huerta. And I don't even want to go into the whole questioning of, wait a second, you had a kid with Caesar, and we all kind of heard the rumors about that before, but apparently nobody knew. Nobody knew. Apparently, allegedly. But we all did, but nobody knew. And then she married his brother and had kids with him too. Again, I'm not into questioning the accusers. I'll leave that up to investigators to figure out whether accusations are true or not. There's a strong push to make her the new face of the farm workers.
Possibly unpopular opinion, and maybe showing my how naive I am.
Yeah.
Why do we need a face in the first place? Why can't it just be the Hispanic people in general are what caused this instead of just somebody? Like, why don't we just accept that everybody did something?
And to be even real, it wasn't even the Hispanics. It wasn't even Dolores and Caesar. It was a Filipino out in Delano.
True.
If you really want to get down to the nitty gritty of who was fighting for farm workers' rights before the Hispanics got into it, before Caesar and Dolores hijacked the movement for their own benefits, in my opinion. It's a disclaimer up. Just gotta make sure.
I can turn it back on.
Just make sure the disclaimer's up. I don't want to get anybody in trouble. It's my opinions and my opinions only.
It just pops in my head. I was like, why do we technically need a face?
Everything needs a face. Got it, because we can't exploit movements if they don't have a face. 661-842-5376, 661-842-KERN. You said we have a phone call, sir?
Yeah, on a brighter note, Chris Orr's on the line.
Chris Orr, what is up, my friend? How's it going, brother?
Hey, all I know is I like seeing your face on YouTube for an extra hour.
Ah, goodness gracious. That's the worst thing that could probably be.
Hey, as I announced on the Early Bird Special, we have kind of a historic event happening at Garces High School tonight.
Ooh, what is that, sir? I'm guessing it has to do with lacrosse.
It does. It is the first ever CIF lacrosse game played in Kern County. It occurs tonight. It will be the women's lacrosse team of the Garces Rams.
Wow.
But it's the first ever CIF lacrosse game in Kern County that's ever been played.
A CIF-sanctioned lacrosse game in Kern County. How many years have you been working on this, my friend?
Over a decade, literally.
It feels like it. I mean, I've known you now for quite some time as you've been a listener of this station and Ralph Show for a long time, and I remember when you started off this whole lacrosse journey.
Yeah, well, this one goes to Andrew Zaninovich, part of the Zaninovich clan. He's the head coach for the women's program, and he's the one. Also, Chris Hagan out of the Jane Cullen Styles. They're the one that got this one up on its feet. And usually the girls have to travel all the way to Fresno because that's where they compete. But we're actually having the first in-town game. So It's at 5:40 at Sam Tobias Field. So if anybody's free and they want to see a women available and want to see a women's lacrosse game, head on out there. But it is literally history making today.
It is all your guys' hard work, and I know there's a whole group of you that have been really, really the spearhead of this sport coming to Kern County, and all those years of hard work are paying off tonight, my friend.
Yep, little by little. So hopefully we get the men's program in the same situation within the next year or two. So.
And you know what I love most about it is none of you care about any of your guys' self getting any of the recognition. It's all about the kids.
Yep, no, I definitely don't need to be the face of this. It's everybody. So many volunteers, so many parents doing an amazing job to make this happen. So we appreciate all of them.
Yeah, if kids want to get connected, how do they do it, man? I know you got all kinds of sorts of things going on with it. How do they, if there's want to get connected to a team, how do they do that?
There's BakersfieldYouthLacrosse.com, but if you just Google Bakersfield Lacrosse, we're the only thing. Our season is getting ready to wind down, but there's summer camps that we can point you to, and then we ramp up with our free clinics in the fall again. So
there it is, and I know you'll be back when those start to come on and be able to tell the folks about that. Hey, man, congratulations on tonight. Congratulations again on all the hard work that you guys have done to really push this sport in Kern County. It is finally paying off, sir.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate the support we've gotten from Kern Radio. It's definitely helped for sure.
Of course, man. We support those that support us, my friend.
All righty. Have a great rest of your day.
You do the same, sir. Be safe out there, man.
Thank you.
All right, man. It's our man, Chris Orr. He has, like I said, been one of the spearheads of lacrosse here in Kern County and getting that sport really to what it is. And you guys should go out there and support them tonight. The game, again, starts at 5:40 p.m. It's going to be at Garces on Sam Tobias Field. Go out there and support the girls out there playing lacrosse. Yeah, he was on your guys' show earlier talking about.
Yeah, we were able to squeeze him in around 8:30, and he told us the news. And I'm really excited about this as well. I'm excited to see that my alma mater is doing something historic.
Yeah, it's a growing sport. I mean, we hear about that a lot, and I jokingly say it all the time that pickleball is the fastest rising sport. Oh, and we spend millions of dollars transforming pickleball courts all over town because it's the fastest growing sport. They're not starting leagues in school, are they?
And they won't. I'm going to tell you that right
now. And they won't. So why are we investing in sports that kids are actually participating in?
Just throwing this out there. This is now 2 major sports that my alma mater, Garces Memorial, has started that no other high school has started yet, and that was water polo and now lacrosse.
Yeah, and water polo is really blown up here locally too. I know BHS's water polo
we were the
team.
first high school to have one.
Yeah, BHS.
Along with, I think, BCHS was up there as well.
Yeah. It's almost leave it up to the private schools to
Of
do
course.
that. But
But
the
I
other
mean,
schools have caught on now. I know BHS has a water polo team that did pretty well this past season. I know a kid that plays on there. Shout out to Finn Green. He's their goalie out at the BHS on water polo. But yeah, okay, all kinds of these. I guess, would you call them outside sports?
Yes.
They're not your traditional sports. Your basketball, football, baseball. They're not those traditional sports, but they are very, very fast growing. And even in some instances, I would argue maybe better for your kid to get involved in because there's a higher chance that they would be getting maybe a scholarship for, say, lacrosse or for water polo than all these kids that are coming in 100%. Applying for football or baseball or something else, right?
Absolutely, 100%. That's what I always talk about is that, NFL players, it's 1 in, I think, like 200 and something get drafted. Lacrosse, you'll most likely, I think Chris has told me 1 in 7 kids get a scholarship to college. And there are professional leagues now in lacrosse that are growing.
Yeah.
Now, you're not going to make money like the NFL is yet, but they are getting up there.
Yeah. And hey, if it can get you some financial assistance in college and you enjoy playing the sport, why not, baby?
Man, if I had a lacrosse team at Garces, I gladly would have played. I didn't play a whole ton in football, although I love the sport, but I would have gladly made a transition in lacrosse and see what would have happened there.
Maybe we should start a Kern Radio lacrosse team, Chris.
Well, I'd probably be awful now, but I'll try it. I'm not gonna lie, he gave me one of the
I have one
the ball
too.
and stick things last time he came on
I
the
have
show.
one too. Me and my daughter throw it around every once in a while.
Yeah,
We got it
absolutely.
too. So, but yeah, we probably shouldn't hurt ourselves or embarrass ourselves with the team.
Now softball league. Now we can get
Yeah, we can talk about that. Maybe we can get together a softball league. Let's get to a break, Chris. On the other side, we'll talk about what we learned in today's show. More accusers come out against Eric Swalwell, what they are saying and what they are accusing him of. How much money is being wasted on Measure N? I didn't get to what the supervisors didn't get to at this morning's meeting. I'll talk about that a little bit as well and tell you what we have planned for tomorrow's show. All that coming up next. It's the JR Show. It's Current Radio. We'll be right back.
Current Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN. First Look with Scott Cox, morning 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Wednesday
What are we
edition
talking
of the
about?
First Look program, we'll talk a little medicine with a
What are you talking about, Baco Driver? Who's just as guilty? Nah, she's just as guilty as him. They just wanted fame. Selfish people all around. What is that? What are you referring to? What up, Sergio? Oh, man. It's beautiful weather outside. You guys should get out and enjoy it. Don't forget to join us for our Mac and Cheese Fest, the 11th annual Mac and Cheese Fest happening at the Kern County Fairgrounds. Tickets are on sale now. For more info, go to BakersfieldMacandCheeseFest.com and also go to our website, KernRadio.com. You can sign up right now every Friday starting this week, leading all the way up to the Mac and Cheese Festival. We'll be giving out a pair of tickets. You have to sign up online at kernradio.com. Come and join us. I'll be out there. Chris will be there. Ralph will be there. Scott will be there. We'll all be in attendance. Some of us may even be in the dunk tank. I did not sleep last night. I was working on a script for a video that I'm about to drop. And it was just, I don't think people realize how much work goes into, like, you watch a video, say on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, wherever, and it's maybe a 90-second to a 2-minute video. I think some of my videos have gotten up to 3 minutes. You don't realize, and I didn't, I guess, give enough credit or realize how much work actually goes in. It can take me half a day sometimes, from concept to storyboard to script to full production. It could take me half a day, 5-6 hours easily to produce one video, 1 3-minute video. This is much easier. This radio is much easier because it's more spontaneous and not as scripted, I guess. I'm not trying to fit all the information I can in 3 minutes. I know I have an hour to explain to you guys.
One day, running from the police, that's right.
Mama catch me, put a whoop into my backside. That's right. My mama whooped my ass. Did you get spanked, Chris? You can tell on your parents. Did you get spanked as a kid?
Not often, but I was a good kid.
Oh, God. Listen to this fool.
I was a good
I
kid.
was a good kid. I never got spanked. Neither was I, Chris. I was a good kid, too. Between me and my sister, I was much better.
Oh, I just learned at a very, very, very young age that spanking sucks.
Spanking does suck, dude. I did get spanked as a kid. So did my sister. I'm not telling. My mom didn't abuse us. We weren't beaten by any means. There was a belt that hung in the kitchen that had my sister's name on it.
My aunt's slipper.
Oh, chanclas all the time, slippers. Oh yeah. You know what I mean? But it wasn't these severe beatings. There was no extension cords. I wasn't getting beat. Like, if I deserved the national, I got it. And I probably did a couple times. And I learned from it. And I learned don't do that again. And I also learned, because I grew up in the hood. I grew up in the South Side. I grew up on one end. To get out of my neighborhood, I either had to go by the skinheads or I had to go by the Southsiders. That was my options. And obviously I'm Mexican. And so I chose the Southsiders. I was like, well, at least they'll let me pass. So I got asked to get jumped into a gang when I was in 6th grade, y'all. 6th grade. And I turned and I looked, and they were, do I say they were my friends? I mean, we grew up in the same neighborhood. So of course they were my friends. They were the kids I was running around with, at least in my yard, and that I wasn't going and causing trouble. But I looked at them and said, you kidding me? My mom is going to whoop my butt harder than 3 or 4 of y'all jumping me right now. I'm not scared of getting jumped by you. I'm scared of going home and having to explain to my mom why I have a black eye and now I'm part of the Southside Little Oaks. Like, no, she's going to whoop my butt, send me to my room, and I'll never be heard from again. I'm good. Thanks, y'all. Am I still cool? Yeah, you're still cool, JR. You're a good kid. I was. I got straight A's and everything because I was scared. And I have respect because my mama taught me respect. Respect too. I never have to whoop her. I don't think I've spanked my child. She is the perfect child. 661-842-KRN, 661-842-5376. Anything on the text message board, sir, before we get out of here for the day?
Yeah, I got one here.
What you got?
JR did a great job in seeing the Bakersfield Christian dinner the other night.
Oh, thanks.
You know, things are changing when we go to a function like that, and my wife and me won the bidding for $500 for 2 hours of tattooing. You got like Christian church. Keep doing good.
Hold on, what?
Apparently, this one.
I didn't see.
$500. I'm sorry, 2 hours of tattooing for $500 at the key event.
I did not. Did you, Chris? You were in attendance.
I was, but I didn't know that was a thing. I would have put a bid down for that easy, but that better be a big tattoo.
I walked around all the auction items.
$500 for 2 hours.
I did not see the one that said tattooing.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure this is probably part of the auction itself. This wasn't on the table. There's no way this was on the tables.
That wasn't part of the auction. I stayed for the whole live auction. I don't remember tattooing coming up. That had to be at one of the tables. No. Hey, man.
I'm all for it, but I'm just saying.
I have tattoos.
You're dropping $500 on tattoos.
I'm a Christian.
One, it better be a big tattoo. And 2, better be done very well.
Yeah, better have a cross or Jesus or somebody. I'm kidding. No, but it was a great time at the key event. They don't say who. They didn't mention their name. They didn't say who it was.
They didn't say the name.
Interesting. I ran into a couple of listeners there, Zell and Randy, a bunch of people. So it was a great time at the BCHS. And what? Christians can get tattoos too.
Oh, yeah.
I know all kinds of Christians that have tattoos now.
Well, I get side eyes every time I walk around with mine showing. But
yeah, I mean, there's
people at the country clubs are always scared of me.
That'd be a conversation. That'd be a good conversation for a Friday show. Bring in a pastor and say, "What about tattoos, sir? My body is supposed to be a temple. I'm supposed to not desecrate my body because it is the house of the Lord. It is the temple of the Lord that lives inside of me, my body."
Yeah. About that, where do you think I should put the next post?
Yeah, I know. Then I haven't had a tattoo for a very, very long time. I think at a certain point you reach an age where you kind of go, yeah, I guess I can.
Oh, I'm finishing this arm before I'm done. I am doing it.
Finish it before you have kids, sir. That's what I'll say, because
100%.
If between kids and tattoos, both are expensive and you can only afford one. Oh man, I got to get out of here for the day. Want to thank you guys for hanging out. Want to thank Clayton Campbell for coming by, discussing the Measure N Oversight Committee and stuff that they had heard from department heads. Keep listening. Clayton Campbell will return for the Ralph Bailey Show, filling in for the vacationing Teresa Goldner. They'll discuss law. Come back tomorrow, Michael Gates. He is a
candidate for Attorney General of California, making his way through Bakersfield. He'll be a guest on our show. Plus, it's a Wellness Wednesday. So we'll talk to a good doctor. All that. This has been the JR Show. Lily, Dad loves you.
Kern Radio, AM 1230, KERN, 96.1 FM, K241CI Bakersfield, an American General Media station.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm
All right, you guys, be good to each other. For the America's Favorite Teachers contest, I was making videos every day, but that's exhausting. Yes. I learned the word and spoon at least once a week. Anthony, don't be telling tales about your mama. Tell your mama I said hi too, by the way. All right, you guys, be good to each other. We'll be back tomorrow.